Everyone planning to retire asks the same question. What's my number? How much do I actually need before I can walk away? And the internet has an answer, screamed at you from every direction. $1 million. No. 2 million. Better make it 3. Here's the honest truth right up front. For most people, that number is wrong. And not wrong in the scary direction. Wrong because it's usually way too high. Those giant numbers leave out the one thing that pays a huge chunk of your retirement for you. Add it back in. And the real number, your number, drops a lot lower than the headlines want you to believe. There's a simple way to find it. 3 steps. Real figures. No magic. And by the end, you'll be able to do the math on your own retirement in about 2 minutes. No hype. No panic. Just the number. Kill the biggest myth first. There is no magic number that works for everyone. There never was. Think about it. A couple in rural Tennessee with a paid-off house and simple tastes needs a completely different amount than someone renting in San Diego who loves to travel. Same age, same retirement, wildly different number. So when a headline says you need 2 million, ask the obvious question. 2 million for whom? Your number isn't a number you read. It's a number you build from your life. And it starts with one figure most people have never actually calculated. Before you ask how much to save, answer a smaller question first. How much do you actually spend in a year? Almost nobody knows their own number, and that's exactly where this starts. The average American household over 65 spends about $60,000 a year. Housing, food, transportation, healthcare, the whole picture. Your number might be higher, it might be a lot lower, especially with the mortgage gone. But that annual spending figure, whatever yours really is the engine of this entire calculation. Here's where most people make their mistake. They assume they have to save up enough to cover every dollar of that spending themselves. They don't, because a big check shows up every month to cover a large piece of it, and the scary headlines almost always leave it out. Here's the step that changes everything. Subtract Social Security. This is the piece those giant numbers ignore. The average Social Security check in 2026 is about $2,000 a month. That's roughly $24,000 a year, landing in your account whether the market is up or down for the rest of your life. For a couple, it's often quite a bit more. Watch what happens to the math. If you spend $60,000 a year and Social Security covers $24,000 of it, your savings don't have to cover 60. They only have to cover the gap, $36,000 a year. That's the real target, and it's a whole lot smaller than the number you started with. One last step turns that gap into your number, and there's a well-worn, time-tested rule for it. It's called the 4% rule. In plain English, it says you can safely pull about 4% of your savings in your first year of retirement, adjust it for inflation each year after, and your money should last about 30 years. Flip that around, and it gives you a target. To cover a yearly gap, you need roughly 25 times that gap saved up. Let's finish our example. The gap was $36,000 a year. 25 times 36,000 is $900,000. That's the real number, not 2 million, not 3. Say that out loud. It's less than half of what the headlines screamed at you. And we got there without a single trick. Just your spending, minus the check that's already coming. Spend less than the average, and the number falls further still. I'm not going to pretend 900,000 is small. For a lot of people watching, there's a real gap between that and what's in the accounts today. Here's the honest picture. The typical American in their early 60s has around $185,000 saved. Not 900. Picture that. The target is almost 5 times what's sitting in the account. So yes, for many people, there's ground to cover. But here's the question you're probably asking. Does that mean I'm doomed? Absolutely not. Because unlike the scary headline number, this number actually moves. You have levers. And once you see them, a gap that felt impossible starts to look a lot more like a plan. Here's where you take back control. The levers. Lever 1, your spending. Every $1,000 a year you can trim from your spending drops your target by roughly $25,000. Cut your annual spending by $10,000, and you just lowered your number by $250,000. That's the most powerful dial you have, and it's only the first one. The next lever doesn't cost you $1 of spending. Lever 2, Social Security timing. If you wait to claim, your monthly check grows. sometimes a lot. A bigger check means a smaller gap, which means a smaller number to save. Lever 3, a couple more years of work, even part-time. That's more saving. Fewer years, your savings have to last, and often a bigger benefit. 3 or 4 small moves stacked together can close a gap that looked hopeless on paper. Let me show you what this looks like with 2 people. Meet David. David read every headline, saw you need 2 million, and just froze. He decided the number was impossible, so he stopped looking at it altogether. He didn't plan at all because the goal felt fake, and a goal you refuse to look at is a goal you never hit. Then there's Susan. Same savings, same Social Security, same starting point. But Susan did the 3 steps. She found her spending, subtracted her benefit, and ran the math on her real gap. Her number wasn't 2 million, it was reachable. And the moment it felt reachable, she started pulling the levers, trimming a little spending, planning her claiming age, lining up a couple of years of part-time work. Same exact situation as David. One was paralyzed by a number from a headline. The other ran the math, found her real one, and built a plan around it. That's the whole difference. Here's the truth about your retirement number. It was never a headline. It's a calculation, and it's yours. Take your real spending, subtract what Social Security will cover, multiply the gap by 25. That's your number, and for most people, it's smaller and far more reachable than the internet wants you to believe. You don't need someone else's 2 million. You need to know your own. So run your 3 steps this week, find your real number, and then start pulling the levers to close the gap. Because the scariest number in retirement isn't the one you have to hit. It's the one you were too afraid to calculate. One last thing, and it matters. Most people only learn this stuff after it's too late to do anything about it. So if you're anywhere near retirement, subscribe. Every week I break down one more of these money decisions in plain English. No politics and no panic, so you see it coming while you can still plan around it. Don't learn it the hard way. I'll see you in the next one.